Cerulean V was a hostile yet beautiful place. From orbit, its surface resembled a frozen sea of blue crystals reflecting starlight. But Nathan Carter had no time to admire the view. His ship, the Resolute, his only means of returning home, had been disabled by an electromagnetic storm. With limited oxygen and no communication, he was repairing an external panel when a distress signal caught his attention. It was a rhythmic pulse, almost hypnotic. Intrigued, he adjusted his visor to locate the source. A deep cavern shielded by a natural lattice of energy-infused crystals. Despite the risks, something about the signal called to him. Nathan was never the kind to leave someone in trouble. The encounter. Inside the cavern, the light was surreal, as if the walls themselves were alive with a gentle glow. Nathan found Lyra, trapped beneath a massive crystal slab. She was delicate yet otherworldly. Her translucent, luminous skin shimmered faintly, as though the stars had woven their essence into her being. 2 golden markings on her forehead glowed softly with each labored breath. Nathan dropped his rifle and ran to her. "Are you hurt? Can you understand me?" Though she didn't respond with words, her deep violet eyes reflected pain and desperation. Nathan quickly assessed the situation. The crystal was heavy, and his suit was designed to withstand impacts, not to move such weight. But he wasn't about to give up. "This might hurt a bit, but I'm not leaving you here." Using a mix of brute force, ship tools, and that innate human ingenuity, Nathan managed to free Lyra. She exhaled in relief, her gaze fixed on him as though seeing something unexpected. Nathan felt the warmth of her stare, but had no time to dwell on it. The escape and the fight. A metallic growl echoed through the cavern. Dravox, native predators of Cerulean V, had caught the scent of Lyra's blood. They were biomechanical creatures, a terrifying fusion of flesh and metal, with gleaming fangs and razor-sharp limbs. Nathan instinctively raised his plasma rifle. "Stay behind me," he shouted as he fired at the first one to lunge. Lyra, weakened but determined, raised a trembling hand toward the surrounding crystals. Vibrant energy flowed into her, forming a glowing shield that deflected some attacks. But her control was unsteady, and the Dravox were too many. Nathan fought with everything he had, his body moving like a deadly dance, firing, dodging, and using broken crystals as makeshift weapons. Each wound he suffered made him stagger, but he never backed down. In a critical moment, a Dravik leapt toward Lyra. Nathan didn't hesitate. He threw himself in front of her, taking the hit to his side. His suit tore and blood stained the crystalline ground. Lyra screamed something in her language, and suddenly, the crystals around her flared with blinding intensity. A wave of energy blasted the Dravox against the cavern walls, destroying them instantly. Lyra collapsed exhausted, as Nathan gasped for breath beside her. The recovery. Lyra knelt over Nathan, placing her hands on his wound. A soft light emanated from her fingers, slowly knitting his torn flesh. While the pain eased, Nathan couldn't take his eyes off her. "You're incredible," he murmured with a faint smile. She didn't understand the words, but his tone and gaze were enough. "No talk. Rest, strength," she said haltingly, repeating phrases Nathan had spoken earlier. Over the following hours, the two sheltered in the cavern, sharing warmth and a growing bond. Lyra used gestures and drawings on the ground to communicate. Nathan responded patiently, teaching her simple words. What began as practical interaction became mutual curiosity. Every smile, every glance, wove a deeper connection between them, the rescue and the choice. When the distress signal finally drew a Federation rescue ship, Nathan and Lyra had built more than an understanding. They had shared fears, hopes, and a survival instinct that bound them beyond their differences. The ship's commander hesitated upon seeing Lyra. The Etheri, her species, were mysterious and isolated, but Nathan was resolute. "She's coming with me. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't be here." Lyra looked at Nathan, understanding enough to grasp the stakes. "I go with you," she said, her words still halting but filled with conviction. "CA new beginning." In the days that followed, Lyra and Nathan explored each other's worlds. Lyra learned about the stars from a human perspective, while Nathan marveled at the emotional and energetic depth of the Etheri. Their relationship blossomed, blending science and emotion, logic and wonder. One night, as they gazed at the vastness of space from the ship's observation deck, Lyra took Nathan's hand. "This, what do you call it?" she asked. Nathan smiled, gently brushing his fingers over her luminous skin. "We call it love." Lyra leaned her forehead against his, a universal gesture that needed no translation. "Then I love you, Nathan." Their challenges were far from over. Others saw their relationship as an anomaly, a cultural or diplomatic problem. But together, Nathan and Lyra proved that love could transcend worlds, cultures, and biology. Where others saw differences, they found a shared horizon,